show of hands, how many are using AI at all? Okay, keep your hands up if you use it more than once a week or less than once a week. Yeah? How about every day? Every day. That would be me too. And my background is in tech, and you may have heard that I own a plumbing, heating, and air conditioning company. And for very personal reasons, which I will share with you today, we needed to downsize our company. And in doing so, we used 9 different kinds of AI to save $170,000 in our 2024 budget in a $2.5 million company. So that is a lot of money in my world, and it may be in yours as well. And it is my intention always to share with you the step-by-step exactly how I did it and how I used AI in the real world. We are going to explore the magic of AI, which many of you know, the transformative power of how you can use it, and then most importantly, how you can put it into action. I like to joke that the great thing about being a keynote speaker on the topic of AI is that I must keep up on the trends. It also, on the other side, is I am constantly redoing my presentation. It used to be I would have a keynote, it would last for a year. Not now. It lasts for about a day. And something really big happened in the last 5 days. Does anyone know the name Dario Amodei? Does that sound familiar to anyone? Okay. Dario Amodei. Say his name with me. Amodei. Amodei. A lot of people say it wrong. Dario Amodei was one of the first research scientists who started with OpenAI and is directly responsible for the Generation 3 ChatGPT and the evolution on the way to ChatGPT 4. So what does that matter? So he left OpenAI, which almost all of their executives now have left, right? So we need to wonder what's going on around the water cooler there at OpenAI that everyone is leaving. And the people who were there from the beginning, people who are the big data scientists, are all leaving to compete with them and think that Sam Altman is not really in his right mind. Dario Amodei now started Anthropic, which you may know is the Claude. Claude is an amazing large language model. I personally use it a lot. We're going to go through some of the tools today. But Dario Amodei published, the end of last week, a 15,000-word essay about where he thought AI was going and at what speed it was going to happen. All of the podcasters and the experts and everyone on X are all blowing up about this news, and I felt that I needed to share it with you. And before I do that, one quick question. Has anyone played around with Notebook LLM yet? Oh boy, is that crazy or what? Notebook LLM actually came out over a year ago. It's a Google product. It's called Google's Notebook LLM. And what it does is you are able to put a URL or content or anything that you want to learn about into Notebook LLM, and it will transform it into a variety of different ways, including making it into a podcast for you. Insane. So I'm going to share with you what that looks like. But what I did is I took Dario Amodei's entire essay and I put it into Notebook LLM and I had it create a podcast. Now the podcast is 9 minutes long. I am not going to play the whole thing for you. However, I will put it in the handouts which you'll receive today. So here is just a synopsis of his.
Okay, so get this. We're diving deep today, like really deep. We're going to be unpacking this essay by Dario Amodei.
Oh, yeah, the Anthropic CEO. I know his work on AI safety. Really interesting stuff.
Right. But this essay, it's different. It's all about the upside of powerful AI.
Okay, now that's got my attention.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Amodei, he doesn't hold back. Like, get ready for a wild ride because his vision of the future it's mind-blowing.
You got to give Amode credit, though. His vision is grounded, you know. He's not afraid to get into the weeds, the potential problems, but
I'm going to stop that because it goes on and on. It's amazing, but those podcasters are fake. They are not real podcasters. They are AI, and all I did was put the URL of Dario Amade's website where he posted the essay, his blog, and that's what it did. It is amazing and so useful. And I've created one for you later as well. But as we dive in here, I want to ask another question. Has anyone here ever done a DNA test? You know, either, Ancestry DNA or 23andMe. Well, my husband and I did that for Christmas in 2020. We thought it would be fun to do that. We sent ones to our kids and what have you. And I got my results back in January of 2021. And as I opened the app and I started scrolling, I did not recognize one name on there. And I kept going, and then I saw, Stephen, there's my brother, half-brother. And I had been raised to believe that I was 58% or thereabouts Polish. It told me that I was 54% Italian. I knew a little bit about the Irish. My mother talked about that her father, who she didn't have a relationship with, was from a very well-to-do Irish Catholic family. That's all I knew. But no Polish anywhere to be found. And as I started scrolling through, I realized that my mother had some explaining to do should we ever meet again. And as I went through all of the Italian names, it looked like I had all the opera singers in Italy in my DNA test. And my first thought after what's going on here is, I hope I didn't date anyone here. And then my second thought was, please, baby Jesus, don't let Bon Jovi be on that list. And he was not. But I grew up in New Jersey, and this is what my family looked like. They were all Polish, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and there I was, and I would ask my mother, Mom, why am I the only one with brown eyes? And she'd go, honey, it's those recessive genes with those, Yugoslavians. That's why you got brown eyes. Ma, why am I the only one that's tan? Oh, it's those recessive genes. So what does this have to do with AI? But I started really thinking about the DNA inside of me and all of you and every living thing, and how all of these pieces from out there with any part of us whatsoever, without intentionality, makes us who we are. But what if we look at your business has DNA? Your business, the business DNA in your company and mine is the people that we hire, the customers that we bring, the vendors that we have partnerships with. All of that make up a company. And I started thinking about that with our plumbing and heating company. What if we were a tech company that just happened to do plumbing, heating, and air? What if we looked at it completely different? Because I believe, and you may believe as well, and I know you have this huge focus on AI, and you're already working in emergent technologies, always cutting edge stuff, bringing it to the table and to all of your customers. Because we know right now, if we do not become emergent, we are going to become obsolete. And the compete on awesome, not on price, has a lot to do with AI. Because in this upcoming market, we are going to have to be as lean as possible so that we can compete with larger competitors and competitors who are going in the other direction. Because just as I'm standing here before you, we know that there will be others in the market that will not emerge. They will be resistant and just say, I'm not doing this. I refuse. And this has happened. This has happened in our world history, but nothing has moved as fast as AI today. For example, Oprah has a primetime special a few weeks ago, brings on Bill Gates and Sam Altman from OpenAI to talk about AI. We have never seen that before. Now, if Oprah's getting involved, we know this is big news. And here's some other examples of companies that just didn't cut it. And we do not want to be those companies. We want to be the ones that are going to be emergent and leaders in our industry, and then get away from the price objection. Because if you can deliver it better, faster, in a better way to your client, you are going to be the ones that win. Where do you think that your industry is going to be in the next 10 years? Does anybody have an idea? Servicing robots, that's a very good possibility. What else? No idea, just as long as I'm making a whole bunch of money and I don't need to leave the house anymore. That's what a lot of people are predicting. We really don't know. And if Dario Amodei is correct, that 100-year evolution to technology, shrink it down into 10 years, there are things we can't even imagine yet. So in order for us to be able to compete on awesome, not on price, against all of these giant competitors in the Denver market, George Harrison, I met him last night, he's in the Denver market. We have huge plumbing and heating companies here in Colorado, in the Denver market, that small companies like mine cannot compete with on the marketing. Some of them spend $1 million a month. But Google is not ready to give up those paid ads. However, there is a huge evolution in the marketing realm. And for us to scale down and save that $170,000, it started with a very personal reason. My sweet husband, who proposed to me on an airplane while flying over Iowa on our way to Detroit, if I said no, he would have had a problem there, I think. But there we were on the airplane. He is a lovely person. He's been a master plumber for 37 years, and we own this plumbing, heating, and air conditioning companies together. But you see, my husband has asthma, and it's very serious, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse, and his watch is attached to my phone. So when I travel and he's in respiratory distress, my phone starts blowing up. And in his way of trying to feel better, he did a whole bunch of virtual doctor visits where he got prescriptions, but nothing got better. And so we finally, on an emergency, got him into the heart and lung hospital here in Denver, and they said that he was hours away from dying. And they admitted him for 8 days. National Jewish Lung Hospital never admits anyone, but he was there for 8 days as they were saving his life. And when he came out, we sat down and said, what are we going to do? I said, and we all knew this in our company, I do not enjoy running the plumbing and heating company. I do not. It is not fun for me what I'm doing here and learning about technology. That is my fun. And my husband said, well, I can't manage it this big. So what we did is we shrunk it down so that he could manage it on his own. And another thing happened during that time. We went camping, and he got struck by lightning. Yeah, so if we weren't listening to God at that moment, we were now, right? So 2 major things in a month, and we said, okay, that's it. Well, because I'd already been studying AI and I knew what I know, we needed to re-systemize the business. If I was going to leave and he was going to run it, we needed to have it locked down and tight ship, and we needed to be able to get our cost structure to a place where we could compete with those large organizations. Now, we already had a niche because we are women-owned. So we had a lot of women customers, which I'll tell you about here in a moment. So first things we did was this. We took all of our processes, systems, anything that you can think of to run our company, and we automated it with AI using a program called Trainial. And the way that worked is I'd spent 1 week, this video didn't go, I want to show you this.
We are going to use 5 different types of AI, and we are going to rewrite. At the end, we will be able to demonstrate that we can systemize a multi-million-dollar business using AI in 4 days. I have it down to about 45 minutes, but I'm going to even make it faster today, and I'm going to document it while I am doing it, so then this way we don't need to stop and recreate the system and the process and write it down. I've never been a systems person, but I am now. I see how important it is to run your company on systems. It takes the emotion out of things.
Well, since we did that, we have not lost one employee. We systemized everything. And what I love about this program, and there's other competitors of this program out there, is it had AI starters. Have you ever tried to write systems and policies and procedures for your company and you stare at the screen about the uniform policy? Ugh. Well, you know, the HR policies, they are what they are with a handbook. But this is different. This is videos, this is learning, it's tests, it's quizzes, it's sign off on this. And I did it in 5 days. And the last one that you saw where I was talking about, I got it down to 45 minutes. Payroll was taking my office manager over a day to do. A full day to do payroll. I got it down now to 17 minutes using the AI tools. And then we systemized all of these things. And underneath all of those, and I'll be doing this in the breakout later on today, every single one of those has this much content underneath it. So there's policy starters. But in order for me to leave, we needed to be able to get this in place, or else I couldn't go. We also, once again, got really, really clear on our target market. So the spray and pray method, we cannot afford to do that. We honed in on our best and highest customer we call Bougie Betty and her husband Bougie Bill. They are high-end clients like many of yours. These are probably the same clients that you have. They're people with some disposable income. They want things done right. They're not going to quibble about pricing. So we started building GPTs in order to do our marketing, our finance, all of our systems and all of our processes now came down to AI tools. And I started building these. Has anybody built one? Yes, couple of you. These are basically little search engines that you can develop to do a specific thing for you. So if you wanted to run your finances, you wanted to create content for your website, you wanted to do your social media posts, you can create your own GPT. And that's what I started doing. One of the big ones, which is really important to Bougie Betty, is I have a nonprofit called Thriftanista. And I take women on shopping tours on a bus. Okay, well, what does that have to do with business? Well, I get 40 women in my target demographic on a bus for the entire day. And I teach them how to thrift store shop all over the Denver metro area. And they love it. And then they get coupons to the plumbing and heating company. So this GPT that I created and started floating out there, which we now have attributed to over $100,000 in new revenue in the last quarter because we have all these people using the app. And what it does is when you go to a thrift or consignment store, or any store, you can take a picture of the item and the price tag, and it will tell you if it's a good deal. And if not, it will tell you where to get it. Now, I did not train it to do this, but I gave these to the Dress for Success folks here in Denver. They're a nonprofit that help women get ready for job interviews. It now can detect whether an item is fake or real. I did not do that. The AI did it itself. So that is a little bit mind-blowing too. But this is just something that we did to be very unique. And here's my bougie Betties over at the Gaylord. And I took a big group of them on a bus not too long ago. And then everyone becomes a customer of the plumbing and heating company. Another one that we did in order to save a lot of money and create our budget. It's coming into budget season. Right? Who loves doing their budgets? Nobody. Not one of you. One guy over there. Yeah. He's like, I love doing the budget. I used to take an entire week and I would create the budget for our company. And I would do it during the Thanksgiving holiday week. Good timing. This way we have December to get everything rolling. I built a GPT where I can create a budget in about 3 minutes. Another thing that you see on there is bookie.ai. Unlike the bookies that I knew from New Jersey, this is an accounting AI. We were paying over $2,000 a month for accounting. We had a bookkeeper every single week, and they were managing all our transactions. We have a ton of transactions. So that was one of the things that needed to go. And we created this GPT where I put all of the key performance indicators into the GPT. I created the Compete on Awesome CFO. So I built the back end, putting key performance indicators showing what should be my profit margin, how much should I be spending on healthcare, what should I be spending on materials, all of these things. And then I took last year's profit and loss, and here's the important part for safety for you, is to put it into a spreadsheet. I also took last year's balance sheet, put that in a spreadsheet. I cut out just the numbers, none of my personal information, no account numbers, nothing about our company, and I threw it in there, and I asked it to do two things. Create the budget for 2024, and now we're going to do 2025. I asked it, once I put in first quarter's numbers, if it could forecast me for the rest of the year. And then, because I can see selling my company is like really close, what is the EBITDA? And EBITDA, if you're not familiar, if you haven't sold a business, is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. That's the calculation that a business broker or a CPA would use to figure out the value of your company when you're ready to sell. Now, our company had fallen on hard times a few years ago. We had a nice embezzlement. We were getting ready to sell back then, too. And so I jokingly say that my acronym is exit before it tanks. But if we are looking on selling the company in 3 years or so, and that's really what we're hoping for, we need to be lean and we need to be super profitable, and I need to know what my EBITDA is. So the GPT did all of this. This whole time I've been talking, it's been going. And that's on warp speed. That's at 2.5 times. Right? So now it takes that whole budget thing out of the way. And the newer AIs, the newer large language models, will allow you to just put it into a spreadsheet. You can download this. So now you download your budget for 2025 into a spreadsheet. You connect it to your QuickBooks or whatever other program that you're using, and now you've got your budget. And it's based on the key performance indicators, and it's based on profitability. So this right here saved $24,000 a year. Another thing that Bookie does is it does a bank reconciliation every day. So you do not need to wait till the end of the month to get your numbers. You do not need to hire, someone weekly to do it. We still now hire someone to do the monthly reconciliation just to make sure that everything's working smoothly. And it's always good to have another set of eyes on your books. Do you think this would be helpful? Yeah, right? Pretty cool. And you get to know where you are all the time. And you can take this further. I've done all kinds of things, saying, what if we downsize? What if we cut this? What if we did that? You can put all of those prompts in here.